Hey everyone, my name is Megan and this is Painted and Distressed. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you, and if you're a returning subscriber of mine, welcome back. Today I have some fun Dollar Tree DIYs for you, and this first one is super easy and I think it turns out really cute. So I'm going to take this sign from Dollar Tree. Now this is from fall that I had left over, but they have all kinds of framed signs year-round. And so I'm just going to take it apart. This one was a little bit harder than normal to take apart, but once I got it, then I just took some craft paper and I traced it out. And I did this because sometimes when I paint just directly on the backing of these signs, it soaks up a lot of paint and it takes quite a few coats, and so I just wanted to try something a little bit different. And so I decided to use this craft paper. And as I was trying to put the glue stick on it, I got frustrated because the edges kept turning, and so I just took it and crinkled it up. And I figured, well, if anything, it'll give it a cool texture. So then I just used my Cricut scraper, and it actually took away most of the wrinkles anyway, so I guess it didn't matter. My edges were curling anyway. So once that was dry, then I just got out my Adirondack white chalk paint from Folk Art, and I gave it one coat. That's all it needed, which was really nice, and the paint went on really smooth as well. So I will definitely try this again because I really liked how smooth the paint was. And so then I just took my hot glue. Once it was dry, I just took my hot glue gun and then I just glued the backing back into the sign, or into the frame. And then I took these wooden carrots from Dollar Tree and my antiquing wax from Waverly, and I gave them all one coat just to give them a little bit of a stain, just a base, just to give it a base. And then once that was dry, two of the carrots I painted using Waverly chalk paint in Ballet Slipper, and this did take two coats. Now the reason why I stained them first is because I wanted I decided that I didn't want to paint the top parts of the carrots green. I just wanted to leave them kind of a little bit more rustic looking. So then two more of the carrots I painted with my Folk Art chalk paint in the color Sage, which I am really loving this season. And then the other two I am using my Folk Art chalk paint in the color Castle. The combination of these three colors is so pretty, and I have been using it non-stop, the three. I just love the color combination of the three colors. And then I just took some white wax, and then I just lightly went over all of the carrots, including the top parts, just to kind of lighten them up a little bit and to give them a little bit more of a distressed look. And then once those were dry, then I just laid them out on the sign and tried to decide what pattern I wanted them to go into. And then I just hot glued them to the sign. And then this project was done. Super quick, super easy, and so cute. And it looks so cute on a tiered tray or on a shelf, or just something really cute to add to your Easter and spring decor. And I would love to know in the comments what you think of this project. This next project, I'm going to use another one of those signs from the fall, and I love these. I had several of them left over. I just didn't go through them, I guess. And they do have nails in them, so I'm just using my needle nose pliers and I'm just taking out all the little nails of them. And then I decided for the backing of this one, I'm going to use some of this Hobby Lobby fabric that you've seen me use a few times now on my channel to make carrots and bunnies and eggs. I just can't get enough of it. I love it. And so I just use this as my background instead of using scrapbook paper. So that way all of my decor that I'm making this year all ties together and matches. But since this is small, it's not too much. You know, I don't want too much of the same stuff. I don't want everything to be matchy-matchy, for the record. So anyways, I'm just taking some Mod Podge. This is actually a fabric Mod Podge, but you can use any. It doesn't matter. You can use any. And I always like to use Mod Podge on the bottom and then also on the top of my fabrics as well. And this particular Mod Podge, I believe it's called Fabric Stiffy, and it's actually supposed to stiffen the fabric. And so if you make bows or something like that out of fabric or even out of ribbon, it helps it harden and stay in place and stuff. I haven't tried it in that respect, but I don't know. I kind of feel like all Mod Podge is kind of the same. And then I took this bunny cutout from Dollar Tree and I got out my Folk Art Antique Pink chalk paint, and it's very similar to ballet slipper because I was running out of that. And then I'm just taking some white wax and a little bit of burnt umber, and I'm mixing that together because sometimes the white wax has a little bit of a yellow undertone to it, and I don't really like that sometimes. And so I wanted just the edges to be a little bit more rustic, and so a lot of times I like to add just regular paint in with my white wax and to change the color of it, and it's a great way to change the color. And so I just went around with a little detailed paintbrush the entire perimeter of the bunny cutout. My particular bunny cutout, I did sand it first, but it had a lot of, it almost looked like it had been eaten by termites or something. I don't think that's the case, but it had a lot of holes in it and stuff. And so no matter how much sanding I did, I could not get rid of it. And so I wanted to make sure to seal this piece in the event there was bugs in it. I don't think there was, but there was holes in the sides of it. And then once that was dry, I just took some Dollar Tree twine and then I just wrapped around my fingers a few times to make a little bow. And then I just hot glued it to the bunny's ear and then added a little Dollar Tree button in the middle. I kind of wish I would have made some little glasses for this bunny and added little glasses because I think that would have been really, really cute. Maybe next time. And then I just hot glued it to the sign, and then this project was done. And then this is how I have it displayed on my shelf. How cute. So I had this wood heart cut out that was left over. I bought it for Valentine's Day, but never got around to using it. And this is from Dollar Tree, of course, in the Crafter's Square section. And I was looking at the bottom of it, and I thought, well, this kind of looks like a carrot. I wonder if I can turn this into a carrot. So that's what I'm doing. So on the outside of it, I decided to stain it using my Waverly antiquing wax. And then I did use a sponge like I usually do, but because the ridges, no matter how much I sanded this one too, it went on a lot better with a paintbrush, so I was just going over it again with a paintbrush to make sure I had it all filled in evenly. And then I took this salmon colored paint that I mixed in with some burnt umber to darken it up a little bit because it was kind of bright for my taste. I like very soft, neutral colors, and so I could not find the perfect orange that I was looking for. Everything was too bright for my taste. So anyways, This is still ends up to be a little bright for my taste, but whatever, it's a carrot. So anyways, I just gave it a couple coats on the top. And I know, bear with me, it's still looking like a carrot, or like a heart. And then I just took some reindeer moss from Dollar Tree and I hot glued it to the top. And then now it's a carrot. And this was so simple, so easy, and so inexpensive, and it's perfect item to add to a tiered tray or a shelf. Of course, I had to give it a haircut because it was looking a little crazy. And then to seal the top so I don't have Spanish moss all over my house, I just used some Gorilla Spray Glue, and that helped set everything so it stays in place. And then, of course, I had to give it a little distressing to make it look a little bit more rustic, and to also tone down that bright color. It doesn't look that bright on screen, but in person it's a lot brighter. And this is how it turned out. I would love to know your comments down below, what you think of this project as well. Some of those other projects displayed are going to be in an upcoming video, so make sure you are subscribed and stay tuned for that. And this last project is probably one of my favorites. And so I just got this bunny wreath from Dollar Tree, and I sat on it for a while trying to decide what I wanted to do with it. And I had all this cotton nautical rope left over from Dollar Tree and decided to see what I can do with it. So all I did was I just wrapped this nautical rope around the entire bottom part of the wreath form. Now there's different ways you can do it. You can interloop in between the different sections of the wreath, and it gives a really cool look, but I just did it this way because it was the easiest and fastest for me. Now, you know, sometimes you do have them going, it's sort of like a slant and an angle, but because it's a circle, and once it's finished, you don't notice it anyway because it should be going that way, if that makes sense. As you can see, you can't even tell. So anyways, I am using the second, this took two packs of the nautical rope to wrap around the entire perimeter. And here and there I did use some hot glue just to keep everything in place in certain spots where it was a little harder and that I wanted to make sure they stayed in place, such as the top here. It was a little tricky getting in between the ears, but it was nothing too difficult or frustrating. So this is a very simple, very easy project, and it did not take long, and it only took a couple dollars to make as well, and it's so cute. And so I'm just finishing off the second pack here, and so I have the entire perimeter covered, and it already is starting to look so cute. And so for the ears, I thought that the actual strand of the nautical rope was too thick, but that was an afterthought. So I started wrapping it around, as you can see here, and I thought, well, this is kind of too thick. So I unraveled it, and I decided to use one strand of it and go around the ears that way. I hope this makes sense. It does take a bit to unravel everything. So then I just started at the back of the wreath form, and I decided to hot glue to the back of the actual nautical rope, and then I just wrapped it around the ears. And I didn't feel like I needed any hot glue at this point, so that was also nice, so it went a lot faster as well. And once I got in between the ears, that got a little tricky too, because there's not a lot of space there, and this nautical rope, even with one strand, is a little thick. But I just kind of moved the ears a little bit just to make sure that they were still intact, and that was it. That was all there was to it. And so then, to complete this, then I decided that I wanted to add some fabric to the back of this. Now, you can most definitely make a cutout using like a cardboard box or something like that, and of the same shape as the bunny wreath, but I didn't do that. All I did was just cut a square to about the size, just to cover the whole of the wreath, and hot glued it to the back, and that was it. That's all I did. And it's secure, it's not loose, and it looks just fine the way it is. And that was just the easiest way. And then for the ears, same thing. I didn't even, I just, as you can see what I'm doing here, I just cut 2 pieces of basically rectangle shape, and then I just kind of like traced it out with a fabric marker, because again, these ears are a little tricky, so and then I just cut it out that way. And then just use that as my template for the second one. And then just the same with the circle part of the wreath, then I just hot glued it to the back of the wreath form. And I made sure to kind of pull it a little bit to make sure it was nice and firm and set on there. And I did this for both the ears. And then to finish this off, then I took some lamb's ear that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love lamb's ear so much. It's just, I don't know, it's so versatile. I feel it goes with almost everything. So I use it a lot. And so I always buy it in a garland from Dollar Tree from Hobby Lobby when it's 50% off, because a garland strand of it goes a lot further than if I just buy individual branches of it or stems. And so I just hot glued them to the front of the wreath form. And then I had these leftover peonies from Walmart that I had from last year, but they still sell them this year. And I just cut them down and attached 3 of them to the middle of the bunny. I love these flowers. I used them in so many projects last year because they're so soft and so beautiful and so perfect for spring. And then to hang this bunny, I just took one strand of the nautical rope and some masking tape, and I just hot glued it to the back. And then I just hot glued the masking tape over the nautical rope to ensure that it had some extra strength, to make sure, so that way the hot glue didn't come apart and that my wreath wouldn't fall off my door. And then that was it. This project was done. And I would love to know your thoughts down below, and which project was your favorite of the projects that are in this video today. And I thank you guys so much for sticking through to the end of this video. And if you don't mind giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you're interested in seeing some other videos I have some linked here. And until next time, that is all I have for you guys today. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.